Hello everybody, welcome back to your English literature class. In today's class we are going to deal The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. We will start with Act 2, Scene 1. The first act was for the most part introductory. It introduced to us the chief characters of the play. It also introduced to us the two chief elements of the play, the bond story and the casket story. This scene is in direct continuation of the scene of Act 1. In that scene, we have learnt that the Prince of Morocco was coming to Belmont. In this scene, we see him arrived. As he was to come at night, Portia says that he is on the following or some later morning that he discusses that lottery. The Prince of Morocco is a dark complexion person. In this barbaric chief, an honest and rude valor that seemed at first to create a favorable impression upon Portia. The prince is attended by a retinue of gentlemen or male servants, and Portia is attended by a train of women. The prince is introduced here but makes his choice in the 7th scene. So Shakespeare intends us to imagine an interval of time elopement of Jessica is planned and carried out. The scene is important from another point of view because it gives us all necessary information regarding the details of the casket story and the conditions attached to it. This scene is one of those in Shakespeare which have been the successful one on the stage. The dark-skinned, fierce-faced Moorish prince, dressed in oriental garb and armed with his big scimitar, is on the stage and he makes his dialogue. Okay, now let's get started with the scene. Act 2, Scene 1, Belmont, a room in Portia's house, flourish of cornets, enter the Prince of Morocco and his trains, Portia, Nerissa and other of her attendants. Morocco, mislike me not for my complexion, the shadowed livery of the Burmese sun, to whom I am a neighbor and near bred. In these lines, Morocco appeals to Portia not to reject him. Mislike means reject or dislike him for his black complexion, the color of the skin, because it is a uniform given to him by the sun, as he is the neighbor of the sun, as he is born or near to the sun. He is born in a hot country near to the equator. The people living near to the equator are black complexioned. Bring me the fairest creature northward born. Here northward refers to the countries like Sweden, France and England, and the people or the inhabitants of this place are having white complexion. So people born in these countries where Phoebus' fire, Phoebus in Greek mythology is the other name of Apollo, god of sun. Phoebus' fire, underline it, means the rays of the sun. The rays of the sun where hardly it falls on these countries and hardly melts the little pieces of icicles. Thaws means melts and icicles means small pieces of ice hanging in the air. Let us make incision for you. Incision means cut. Let us make a cut. Let us draw out our blood for your sake, for the sake of your love, and prove whose blood is reddest. and prove that who is braver, because red blood is regarded as a sign of bravery. White blood is the sign of cowardice. So Morocco says, though my face may be black, but my heart is full of red blood. He is full of courage. He is full of bravery. Let us prove whose blood is redder, his or mine. I tell thee, lady, this aspect of mine. I tell you, lady here referred to Portia. This aspect means my black countenance or appearance of mine hath feared the valiant. Valiant means the braves. Brave ones, they got afraid of my this appearance, this countenance. By my love I swear, the best regarded virgin of our clime means climate. By my love I swear, I take the oath of my love for you. Morocco, Prince of Morocco is loved by, says that I am loved by all the best girls of my country, as he is a world famous hero. He is a prince, and the best girls of his country are sure to love him and aspire for his hand. The best regarded virgins means unmarried girls of our climate or country, hath loved it too. They fell in love with me. I would not change this hue. I will not change this hue. Hue means color. I am not going to change my black complexion except to steal your thoughts. That means he is content with his black appearance. He would not change it unless by changing it he could win the love of Portia. My gentle queen refers to Portia. Stealing suggests a thief who comes disguised to commit a theft. Portia. In terms of choice, I am not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eyes. When Morocco appealed to her not to reject him simply because of his black complexion, Portia replied that if she had the freedom of choice, which she had not, she would not be guided by her eyes alone. She would not go solely by appearance. That does not mean that she would marry such a black devil. When Morocco chooses the casket wrongly, she heaves a sigh of relief and wishes that all black men should choose wrongly as he has done. But Portia's meaning is that a white face would not be the only qualification. She would wish for other virtues in her would-be husband. Besides, the lottery of destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing. But if my father had not scanted me and hazed me by his wit to yield myself, his wife who wins me by that means, I told you, yourself, renowned prince, then stood as fair as any comer I have looked on yet for my affection. So besides that, the lottery of my destiny, her luck in marriage, was to be decided by the lottery of caskets, which bars her, prevents her from voluntary choosing, means choosing a husband according to her own free will. Her will had to obey the will of her dead father. But if my father had not scanted me, restricted my choice, and hazed me by his wit, limited my choice by his judgment written in his will, to yield myself his wife. So I will be the wife of a person who wins me by winning the lottery of it. So Portia says that, but circumstances had been different, and I had not been limited. I had not been limited and restricted by my father's wisdom, obliged to accept for a husband the one who shall succeed in winning me by the means he ordained. Then, noble prince, you would stand as high in my regard as any of the suitors whom I have yet seen. Morocco, even for that I thank you. Therefore, I pray you lead me to the caskets to try my fortune. The use of the word even goes to show that Morocco expected Portia to say that she admires, takes him more fairer than any other suitors. But he is happy, he is contented that she has taken him as equal to the other suitors. So that's why he says, I'm grateful to you for such thoughts. And now I beg you to take me to the place where the caskets are. Caskets are the chests of gold, silver, and lead, which Nerissa had already mentioned, that I may put my faith to the trial. By this scimitar is a short, curved sword that slew the Sufi and Persian prince that won 3 fields of Sultan Solomon. So he says, I killed a monarch of Persia who had already vanquished the renowned Solomon in 3 battles. That there is no danger I would not brave if it might gain you, dear lady. You know that Morocco is a braggart, a noisy fellow with a good opinion of himself. He boasts that he had killed the king of Persia. This fact has no foundation in history. There was no war between the Moors and the Persia in that period. But he brags of this and says that he had killed the Persian king who had thrice defeated Sultan Suleiman in battle. Morocco killed the Persian prince. So Morocco was much braver than Sultan Suleiman of Turkey since he killed his victor. I would outstare the sternest eyes that look more cruel and brave than the fiercest man or animal. He would surpass him in bravery and outbrave the heart most daring on the earth. I will show greater courage than the bravest man on the earth. Pluck the young sucking cups from the sea bear. Pluck means separate. He would dare to pluck away the young ones of the sea bear who were sucking milk from the mother's breast. This would be surest way of infuriating animals, but he is braver than the bear. Ye mock the lion when he rose for prey. He says that he will make fun of the lioness when it will be searching for its prey. He would challenge even a hungry lion when he is roaring in search of his prey. To win thee, lady, in order to win you, Portia. So he boasts that he can do all these things. But alas, the while, if Hercules and Leches play at the better men the greater throw, may turn my fortune from the weaker hand, so is Alcides beaten by his page. But alas, the while, he says this is all dependent on your luck. Like Hercules and Leches, his servant, if they would play a game of challenge or a dice, whoever gives the greater chance, greater falls, will be winner. Even the servant can be the winner. So is Alcides beaten by his page. Alcides is another name of Hercules, and he says that in this way Hercules was killed by. So Hercules was defeated by his square. His square means by his servant. And so may I, blind fortune leading me, miss that which one unworthier may attain and die with grieving. And this may be my fate too, and by mere mischance, I may lose the precious thing for which I strive, and lose my life for grief, while someone more fortunate, though not more worthy, may obtain it. Portia, you must take your choice and either not attempt to choose at all or swear before you choose. If you choose wrong, never to speak to lady afterward in way of marriage, therefore be advised. When Morocco says that no, he is not going to, he will take the chance to make his choice. So Portia says that you can find out by putting your fortune to the test, but you have the alternative of either leaving the matter and not choosing the casket and leave the place without making any choice, or else of having vowed that if in making your choice you should not obtain the right casket, you will henceforth forswear love and never woo another maiden. Consider carefully before you decide, Morocco. Nor will I not. Come bring me unto my chance. I vow I will never woo any lady but you. Let us go at once to make the trial. Portia. First forward to the temple. After dinner you heard your hazard shall be met. You must first swear the oath in the holy shrine. Then when we have climbed or you have taken the dinner, you shall put your fate to the test. Morocco. Good fortune then to make me blessed or cursed among men. May I be fortunate then, for when that is decided, I shall be either the happiest or most miserable of men. This is all about Act 2, Scene 1. So, extract questions of Act 2, Scene 1.